You can even seal it, put it in foil paper if you want. Seal it, and then bring the body. He can freeze the powers of the president. These people want to freeze the powers of the president. Want to freeze Hakainde Hichilema for that moment because of a funeral. Because of a funeral. Because you have got Ed Galongu. Because you have got the body of Ed Galongu, who is a former president, and you want to have it your way up to the extent of putting out an elected leader. You put him out.
What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to JQ.
This is a conscious position. This is a conscious position. What is this conscious position? The conscious position is that there is no way Ed Galongu can be buried in another country for political expediency. This, I said it from the start. I stated it from the start. Whatever is going on, it is not about respecting Ed Galongu's wish in his death. No, it is not. This is about, this is about, this is political. This is political. There is nothing here about family, what. No, it is political, it is political, it is political. That's all. It is political. People want to embarrass Hakainde Hichilema. People want to embarrass Hakainde Hichilema and his government. And Makebi Zulu is at the center of this. Makebi Zulu is at the center of this. People have been saying, why are you attacking Makebi Zulu? Why are you attacking Makebi Zulu? Makebi Zulu is just a family spokesperson. No. Makebi Zulu is enjoying this. Makebi Zulu wants this to continue. He wants this to continue because it is giving him a status. It is giving him an importance. It is giving him that figure. You saw him today. You saw him today. He's enjoying standing before, so many journalists. He's enjoying that. And in court, the demeanor, if I can put it this way, the demeanor of the court is that these people can resolve this matter. In South Africa, the South African government, starting with the South African government does not want Ed Galongu to be buried in South Africa. And this is very clear. They have spoken, the government of South Africa has spoken very clearly. They don't want Ed Galongu to be buried in South Africa. Unfortunately, their hands are tied. Their hands are tied. How are their hands tied? First of all, they have to respect the believing family. They have to respect, when somebody is grieving, you don't want to look cruel to them. You don't want to look like you are roughing them up. You don't want to look like you don't care about their feelings. This is the natural thing. This is the natural thing, especially in Africa. When somebody is grieving, that is not a time for you, even if you have seen that the person is wrong, it is very hard for you to tell this person to say you are wrong. So, the South African government has made it very clearly that they don't want Ed Galongu to be buried in South Africa. They would like him to be buried in Zambia according to, the traditions that we have, the traditions and the rules that we have. That's what they would want. But their hands are tied. They can't just go to the East and tell them, they can't do that. They can't do that. But really, I'm telling you, the South African government would have done that. They were, hey, Mayo, Logenut Petwin. But they can't do that. It wouldn't look good. They are respecting them as a believing family. They are respecting them as children of the former president. They are respecting that. They are respecting that. Don't be cheated to think, because some of you are thinking that South Africa, is in support of the family. No. Bale chitafyo muchinshi. Bale chitafyo muchinshi. Muchinshi uli ababapere wa mayoba Esther na shanja. Muchinshi. But otherwise, the South African government, they want Ed Galongu to be buried in Zambia. They want Ed Galongu to be buried in Zambia. So they are tied pamuchinshi. And then secondly, of course, the constitution. Their constitution says give the remains to the next of kin. So they can also not go against what is written in the constitution. They have to give the body to the next of kin. That is what their law says. Okay? But, and then now if you are court, because when it is a constitutional matter now, it has to go to court. It's only the court that can make a ruling. And that's why it has gone to court. That's why it has gone to court. It is not that the South African, be very clear, and I'm not speaking this from my own opinion. It is from the statements that have been coming from the South African government. You know, they can't come out in a way like if you know Ndelanda. No, they have to be diplomatic. Like that minister said, the desire of South African government is that he's buried in Zambia. And even today when they went to court, the demeanor of the court is also of the same view that he's buried in Zambia. He's buried in Zambia. Many people, I think on this one, they agree with the Zambian government. Many people, they agree with the Zambian government. Many people do agree on this one. They do agree that what Hakainde Hichilema is doing is the right thing. And by the way, President Hakainde Hichilema, for heaven's sake, is not fighting to bring this body for him to come and do some juju so that he can remain in power, even after 2026. It is not about that. Because this family, they are making it, they have brought in some superstition. They have brought in superstition. I told you about superstition, and some of you refused. They have brought in superstition. Hakainde Hichilema should not go near the body. No, the body should not pass this road. No, the body should not be kept whatever. No, the body should not remain. The body. That superstition is only in the Lungu family. That superstition is only in the Lungu family. It is not to the rest of us. It is not in Hakainde Hichilema's mind. It is not. Hakainde Hichilema, I don't think Hakainde Hichilema wants to do anything superstitious. No. And it is absurd that, people keep bringing up this issue. This issue of superstition, this issue of like Hakainde Hichilema has magically killed Ed Galongu. I mean, it's nonsense. It's preposterous that you can be bringing up this issue owing to the history of this man who has died. Owing to how the man died. Owing to how the man died. You people who are talking about superstition, you know how Ed Galongu died. You know what caused the death of Ed Galongu. You know. You know. I know, and you know. You know exactly how Ed Galongu died. You know exactly how Ed Galongu died. You know what happened a few days before he went back to the hospital. You know. You know decisions which were made for him to go to hospital and undergo an operation. You know. And undergo an operation. You know. So things are very, very clear. How dare you bring in this issue of superstition to say, no, Hakainde Hichilema wants to do this. Hakainde Hichilema should not go near the body. Whatever. Come on. Come on. You need to be real. And I can't agree with you with this. I can't agree with you on this one. I can't. I'll be betraying my conscience. I don't believe in this nonsense myself. Me, I don't believe in this nonsense. I don't. Especially when somebody who has died, I mean, the medical records are so clear. There is no way I'm going to buy that nonsense. Oh, Hakainde Hichilema is president, for goodness sake. Hakainde Hichilema is already president. Mukasumina riladi kwa Hakainde Hichilema reteka. But you still behave as if he's in opposition. As if in that state, he's already president. Accept it. Then the other issue that they are bringing up, it's what Makebi Zulu keep bringing up. Makebi Zulu keep talking. You see, the court. Why the court? If you have seen, the court has kind of staggered this case. The court has kind of staggered this case. And why they have staggered this case is to give an opportunity to the parties to resolve this. The court does not want to embarrass anyone. The court does not want to embarrass the Zambian government. The court does not want to embarrass the Lungu family. They don't want to do that. But what have they done? They have given them ample time. They have given ample time so that they can engage and hopefully resolve this matter. And not to make either party be embarrassed. The court does not want to embarrass the Zambian government. The court does not want to embarrass the Lungu family. So they have protracted the case, knowing that Ed Galongu is dead and is in the freezer. Knowing that Ed Galongu is in the freezer right now. Knowing that Ed Galongu needs to be buried. But they have protracted it. And by the way, today, in case some of you have not realized it, today, the Zambian government has won. Today, the Zambian government has won. Of course, Hakainde Hichilema doesn't want to put it to say it's a win or lose. No. But the fact is that they would have buried today. And when Wakawesha filed in an ex-parte was heard today. It was heard today. An ex-parte, you go into court to say, please court, I want to stop something. But the court does not just stop you, does not just stop something. No, they first hear, do you have a case? Do you have a case that we can listen to? And the court, the Zambian government made a case this morning, and the court agrees that there is an issue of public interest here. There is an issue of public interest. And that is how they granted the Zambian government that ex-parte and suspended the barrio. Otherwise, the barrio would have gone on. Because some of you might not see this. Already, the Zambian government has gotten something out of this. Already. And already, if you like, it is already causing an embarrassment to the Lungu family. Because they wanted to bury. Now they are not burying, they haven't buried. A lot of people flew into South Africa. But now, I'm sure by now they are coming back to Zambia. Including my grace, Archbishop Dr. Ali Kibanda. He had to celebrate, he had to go on and celebrate Mass. But unfortunately, it didn't happen the way they did. So already that is not good. That is not good for the family. That is not good for the family. And fine, they have stopped it and then they have given them so much time. So much time. And that time is for them to resolve. So the court is praying that these people can resolve. That is what the court is praying. And that is what the South African government is praying. That is what many other stakeholders are praying for. But now look at the statements of Makebi Zulu. Look at the statements of Makebi Zulu. Because some of you think that I'm just singling out this guy. This guy is a problem here. Makebi Zulu is a problem. He is a big problem. Because whilst all these people are talking reconciliation, what does Makebi Zulu say immediately coming out? Makebi Zulu comes out, no, Edgar Lungu has refused to sleep. He wants his story to be told. Hey, he wants his story to be told. Hey, this is an opportunity. Makebi Zulu, how can you turn this into an opportunity for you to show yourself, for you to tell a story? Eh? How can you look at this an opportunity when Ed Galongu is being frozen like a fish in a deep freezer, honestly? Eh? This is a former president who is being frozen like a fish. But you want to take an opportunity now. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. What nonsense is that? What nonsense is that? How can Makebi Zulu take this as an opportunity? An opportunity to do what? Not to tell the story. What story? No, President Edgar Lungu was refused to travel to South Africa. President Edgar Lungu did not have money. President Edgar Lungu used Uber. President Edgar Lungu used the economy. President Edgar Lungu was stopped by the airport. Surely. That is a story that Makebi Zulu wants to tell. That is a story that Makebi Zulu is saying it's an opportunity for us. That is a story that Makebi Zulu has. The South African government is saying, can you discuss? The court is saying, can the parties discuss? Makebi Zulu comes up to say, this is an opportunity for us. They have done well to bring us to court. Now we will tell the story. Now we will tell them how they treated Ed Galongu. Now we will tell them how Ed Galongu flew by economy. We will tell them how Ed Galongu used the Uber. Surely, let's be reasonable. Let's be reasonable. Is that the story really? That you want to subject 2 countries and so many people? Is that the story that you want to subject everybody to be listening to you? And at the end of the day, to decide to bury Ed Galongu in another country because of this story that you are talking, Makebi Zulu. Because of these stories that you are talking, Makebi Zulu. When you will be telling that story in court, do you think the government will have no answers to whatever stories that you are talking about? Do you think the government would have no response? Makebi Zulu is saying, no, they denied him his benefits. Makebi Zulu, there is evidence. There is evidence of Ed Galongu resigning from politics. When he lost power, he resigned from politics. And the evidence is there. And when he resigned from politics, the government of Hakainde Hichilema started paying Ed Galongu. There is that evidence. And if that is a story that you want to tell in court, Kabesha will show that when this man resigned from politics, we started paying him. And they will show what benefits they gave him. And they paid him. And they were paying him. When Ed Galongu came back into politics, the constitution says, if the former president is still in politics, he should not receive. He should not receive benefits. So the Zambian government were only effecting what is in the constitution. It is not that they didn't want Ed Galongu. No. Ed Galongu came back into politics. And that is why the government followed the constitution. They abided by the constitution. So Makebi Zulu, you are a lawyer. What is this story that you want to tell the nation, the international community? What is this story? No, they were refusing him to go out to seek medical attention and whatever. No, at the airport, blah, 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 blah. Makebi Zulu, there is evidence But Patrick Kangwa did bring out this information that they wrote to the Zambian government, the Dr. Njovu, the physician, the doctor of Ed Galongu, wrote to the Zambian government. Ed Galongu wants to go to South Africa for medicals. There is evidence that the cabinet responded by saying, we are ready to provide help. We are ready to provide help. And there is evidence where there was a reply from Dr. Njovu to say, no, we don't want your help. We don't want your help. We were just informing you. We were just informing you. So there is that evidence. So, Makebi Zulu, you can fool the international media. You can fool the people that don't want to think. But when you are talking in court, these things will be challenged. And they will be challenged with evidence. With evidence. But yourself, Makebi Zulu, most of the things that you are talking about, they are just emotive. They're just emotive. They are just sentiments. They don't have the basis of evidence. There is no evidence that you can confidently present before the courts. Because when you say no, they neglected him. The government will show, like I've said, will show that when this man was out of politics, we were paying him. We were even allowing him. Remember, it is not that Ed Galongu was stopped from traveling the moment he left the State House. Like one of the, somebody, I saw an article by Simon, not Simon, this Simon Kaloya young man. He wrote to say when Ed Galongu came out, you know, Akainde Ichirema treated him like a prisoner, like he was on house arrest. No, it is not true. It is not true. Evidence is there that when Ed Galongu left, he actually traveled out of the country. He traveled to South Africa itself. There were no issues. He traveled to Korea. There were no issues. The only issues came in when Ed Galongu started meddling in politics. That is when problems started. The problem did not start when Ed Galongu left office. The problem started when Ed Galongu was meddling in the politics. That is when the problem started. Because the government started treating him as a political opponent. And the evidence is there. Evidence is there. So Makebi Zulu, when you are saying, no, they stopped him, there is evidence that before Ed Galongu traveled out, and even in this instance, when you are saying that no, when they were going to South Africa, the government stopped him. Now, like you rightly said, some people are saying, no, Ed Galongu traveled out of Zambia using a Zimbabwean passport. No, I want to dispel that. Ed Galongu did not travel out of Zambia using a Zimbabwean passport. He used a Zambian passport, and I've spoken to people. Ed Galongu used a Zambian passport, used our airport, and he didn't use our airport in a gangster or crooked way. No. There is nothing that was done that was illegal in Ed Galongu going out. He went out ordinarily like anybody else. And he was recognized as Ed Galongu. He was recognized. If government wanted to stop Ed Galongu from traveling, they would have stopped it. But they didn't stop it. Don't be cheated. Don't be naive to say, don't listen to Makebi Zulu's stories. If Makebi Zulu wants to appear like, you know, they did something magical, they were so clever. No. Ed Galongu went into the airport, they saw him. He checked in at his flying out. And after checking in, he waited for more than 30 minutes before they could board the plane. When they boarded the plane was there as they were boarding and whatever. They took another 45 minutes. Ed Galongu was in the airport grounds for over 1 hour. Over 1 hour. And whilst he was there at the airport, it is not that he was hiding. He was not hiding anywhere. Everybody saw him. People saw him. He went to the immigration officer. To the immigration office. They stamped his passport. Immigration. They stamped his passport. And he passed through exiting Zambia. And went and started waiting for the plane to come and to board. Now, some of you have been talking about, no, the airport, whatever manager has been, has been fired. Has been fired. Look, that man is not being fired because he allowed Ed Galongu to fly out. No. No, listen to me very carefully. That man, the man that you are talking about, that he has been fired because he allowed Ed Galongu to go. No, it is not about him allowing Ed Galongu to go. It is about violating the airport protocols. Airport protocols. And this is the difference. So it would have even been another person. It would have been somebody else. But in this instance, it is Ed Galongu. And why? Because what it is that per airport, there are protocols that you have to be for that you follow. Per airport, I mean, in our country, I don't know who is allowed to pass without searching. I think it is the president, maybe the vice president. There are very few people that are allowed to pass without being searched. There are very few people. And unfortunately, former presidents are not on that list. Former presidents, yes, they are diplomats, just like ministers are diplomats, just like the speaker is a diplomat, just like the chief justice is a diplomat, but the speaker is searched. The chief justice is searched. Diplomats as they are, holding diplomatic passports. Ministers are searched. What is the breach? The breach here, in terms of Ed Galongu, is that this person, they did not search for Ed Galongu. That is the issue. The issue is not that, why did you allow Ed Galongu to go? No. The issue is that they did not search for Ed Galongu. They did not pass through. You know, there are those security features. Those security features where you pass, which checks you if you have a gun or whatever. But Ed Galongu did not pass through that. And maybe that's what Makebi Zulu is trying to say. They used a clever way. But the point is that it is not that the airport authority did not know that Ed Galongu is in the building. They knew that he's in the building. But this gentleman, I'm sure they were trying to pay respect to Ed Galongu. I'm sure it was about paying respect to Ed Galongu. And in trying to pay respect, they omitted certain airport procedures, certain airport clearance procedures. There are procedures that you need to follow. But I think this person was trying to respect Ed Galongu, and they omitted certain protocols. This is what has caused this man to be in problems for his job. It is not because he allowed Ed Galongu. Because if you are saying that it is because he allowed Ed Galongu, the question that I ask you is, what about the immigration officer who stamped the passport? Because if it was about not allowing Ed Galongu to go, the immigration officer that stamped his passport would have been in problems. Why this one? Why not the immigration officer who received the passport and stamped it and gave it to Ed Galongu to go out? Why is he not in problems? Why? Why this person? The point is that it is not that he allowed Ed Galongu to go. No. The point is that they overlooked certain procedures. And those procedures, that's what they are saying. Why did you allow this? Because yes, he's a former president, but is subject to be searched, is subject to airport protocols, just like the speaker is subject to airport protocols, just like the chief justice. And I'm mentioning this because, I mean, these are the heads of government arms. That's why I'm mentioning the chief justice, I'm mentioning the speaker. These are the heads of the, I mean, they are on top there. They are on top there. These are up there. But the chief justice is searched. The chief justice passes through airport protocols. Is not excluded. No, the speaker is not excluded. And from there, I mean, you can talk about the former president. Even the former president, unfortunately, is also not excluded. It's only the incumbent. It's only the incumbent, Hakainde Hichilema, and maybe the vice president. I don't know other people. So that is the clarification on that person. Because a number of you have been saying, but why was this? Why is he what? No, no, no. If government didn't want Ed Galongu to go, there is no way you can tell me that our Zambian government is so useless that a person like Ed Galongu will stay in the airport buildings for 1 hour and they don't know. Then they are surprised. Because all of us, we knew, by the way. It was on social media. The day that Ed Galongu was going, that is the day that human rights rapporteur was coming in. So, I mean, it was on social media all over. It was on social media. So how can you tell me that the rest of us knew about this on social media, and yet the government didn't know? So that today you can come up and say, we are telling the story that he was not allowed to go out of the country. It's not true. It's not true. And the evidence is there. Like the letters which were written to cabinet. And cabinet responding. And then this one saying, no, it is just for your information. We don't want anything from you. We don't want anything from you. Then they went to South Africa. When they went to South Africa, it is a fact. I am speaking on very solid grounds here. The hospital where they went, they didn't want the people, Ed Galongu and the people themselves that were there. They didn't want the Zambian government or people to know where he was going to the hospital. They didn't want to know. They didn't want to disclose this information. They didn't, the Ed Galongu and his people, including Makebi Zulu, they didn't want to know where they were staying, which hospital they were going to. They didn't want. It was all shrouded in secrecy. It was all shrouded in secrecy. And even the names that were used at the hospital, it is not the Ed Galongu. They used some name, whatever names that they used. But they used a pseudonym. Let's call it that way. They used a pseudonym because they didn't want the information to go out owing to what they were looking at. What they were looking at was very serious, and they didn't want it to come out. They didn't want to come out. Hence the secrecy. So, if you shroud something in secrecy, how can you turn around and accuse others to say, you knew he was sick, and yet you never gave him any help? Does that make sense? Do you want me to agree with you when I know for a fact that you were hiding? You didn't want this thing to come out? So should I agree with you now because of loyalty, because you came to my house and fought with the police officers? Then I should agree with you to say, no. Yeah, this government is very bad. Yes, because I'm in exile. Yeah. No, this is not about me. This is not about me. It's about Ed Galongu. And we need to look at the facts as they are. It was shrouded in secrecy. You didn't want people to know Ed Galongu is attending a medical treatment. You didn't want. So how can you turn around now and accuse a government to say, you know, you didn't look after Ed Galongu? How? 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 It doesn't make sense. And these things you are talking about, telling the story, this is the story that will be told in court. This is the story that will be told in court. You are not being fair. You are not being fair. No, so now he's dead. Now we cannot take him back because he came as a private citizen. Now whatever, he has to go as a private citizen. Makebi Zulu, Ed Galongu chose to go as a private citizen. When Patrick Kangwa said, we are ready to help, they responded, we are not interested in your help. We are not interested in your help. He refused. And you were part of the group. You are part of the group. You refused. How can you turn around today and accuse the government to say, no, he came as a private citizen, so whatever. No. And okay, fine. The government has allowed you to say, okay, bring the body. Bring the body by yourselves. Government has agreed. Government has not contested that. Bring the body as you took him. That's okay. But when we come into Zambia, allow us to take over. And you have agreed. You agreed, yeah, we can do that. And then later on, now you're saying, no, the government changed the plan. What did they change? No, they said that when the body comes, they should take it for prayer privately and whatever. Where did you get that? Where is it written? Where is it written? Makebi Zulu, are you going to produce that report where the body was supposed to be taken in a private room? I've seen, because this is the propaganda that you have been peddling. And you are accusing government. Government has put a propaganda machine. No, the propaganda is on you. You are the ones who are lying. You are the ones who are lying. And people like me, I'm just telling the truth as it is. Where are you going to produce a report which is saying, or a schedule which is saying, at one point, this body will be somewhere? Where? You are lying, Makebi Zulu. You are lying. And some of these naive people are believing this. That no, they said they are going to put a body in a... No, there is nowhere. There is no such report where it is saying that, you know, they are going to put a body somewhere secretly and whatever. No. No. And the government has even told you to say, look, we are not interested in the body. If you want, seal it in South Africa. The government of Zambia, what nonsense is this? Okay. The government of Zambia has said, you can seal the body. You can even seal it, put it in foil paper if you want. Seal it, and then bring the body. All we want is to give him a dignified burial here. We are not interested even in your body viewing. If you don't want body viewing, we agree. The government has said that. Government is not insisting to see the body. No, they are saying you can seal the body. Seal the coffin before it comes. And we will not move the coffin that you are going to bring him in. That is the coffin we are going to use even to bury him. They have said that. In case people don't know, government has told the Makebi Zulu and the group to say, if you want, seal the body. Seal it in such a way that, I mean, it will not be opened until it is put in the grave. They have compromised like that. But Makebi Zulu is presenting this to say, no, they want to see the body. They want to see the body. They want to see the body. I have even seen some of the opposition leaders talking about seeing the body, seeing the body. Who has told you that Hakainde Hichilema wants to see the body? Who has told you that Hakainde Hichilema is interested in looking at the body? Hakainde Hichilema knows Ed Galongu is dead. He has reliable information. He knows he's dead. He doesn't need to look at the body. No, it is not about him looking at the body. No, they said the road, they have closed the road. So if they bring them the body, then the body would have to pass. Superstition. But nonetheless, on the issue of the road, which they are talking about, The road, they said they will close the road so that they can work on it, because the road was going to be busy, going back and forth, since the body will be going there and the lot of vehicle will be going there. So there are some places which need to be patched up. That's why they said they are closing the road so that they can work on the road so that the cars can easily pass. It is not that they said that they will close the road on the day that the whatever is coming and the road cannot be used. No. The maintenance was for the purpose of the body. It was to facilitate the body passing through the same road. But as they are working on it, it had to be closed. But now, this is what Makebi is using to say, no, they diverted, they changed. They didn't change anything. They didn't change anything. They were living by what was agreed. Okay, no, Ed Galongu said, Hakainde Hichilema should not be able to come near the body, should not be able to say anything. No, we don't want Hakainde Hichilema to say anything on the state funeral. And other, fundis have come up to say, no, a state funeral is not only by the president, somebody else can be there and whatever. Now, here is the thing. Hakainde Hichilema, much as we may not like him, much as we may disagree with him, he is the head of state. He is the head of state. Even Hakainde Hichilema, even if he doesn't want, even if he personally, because he doesn't like Ed Galongu, he is forced. He has to be part of this function. He has to be part of this function. Who do you want to replace the head of state with? If the head of state is the one that is supposed to stand there, who do you want to replace the head of state with? And this is why I've been saying this. This is what Manalumango meant when he spoke about, treason. It is like this. I am taking it from this young lady called Ethel Chisunat, boss lady. I was talking to her on phone, and she said, it is like overthrowing Hakainde Hichilema using a funeral. That's what she said. I was talking to this Ethel girl, from America. She said, it is like a coup using a funeral. And I agree. I agree. You want to suspend the powers of the president to administer this function using a funeral. Makebi Zulu feels so powerful that he can put on hold the powers of the president. He can freeze the powers of the president. These people want to freeze the powers of the president, want to freeze Hakainde Hichilema for that moment because of a funeral. Because of a funeral. Because you have got Ed Galongu. Because you have got the body of Ed Galongu, who is a former president, and you want to have it your way up to the extent of putting out an elected leader. You put him out. The way you did when he was in opposition. You could do that, Pachiro Chakwa and Kachawa Nankane, Chava Kaunda. You did that to Hakainde Hichilema. He was in opposition. He was in opposition. You put him in the sitting room. You confined him to watch the proceedings on TV because he was in opposition. Now he's president. You cannot do that again. You can't do that again. Makebi Zulu, you have got no powers to do that. Not even Ed Galongu in his life. When Ed Galongu is alive, even if Ed Galongu is alive, he can't do that. So you Makebi Zulu, wayafuna kuisa makayo. Ayakuwomfya ba Ed Galongu muchitumbi, ukwewa to know he should not preside over a state function. No. He is our elected leader. Whether we elected him or not, whether we like him or not, is our head of state. Is our head of state. And anyone asking him to excuse himself from performing that responsibility is not a friend of our country, is not having good intentions. Such a person is not a good person for our country. No, no. You are trying to, using these words, this young lady's words, you are trying to stage a coup using a funeral, using a body, because you want to suspend, you want to send the president on a forced leave. What does that mean? Sending the president forced leave. For this moment, for this 1 hour, because the state function takes quite some time. It takes quite some time. It will take, I mean, I don't know if it's 2 hours. So for that 2 hours, Hakainde Ichilema will won't be a president. Because it's a state function. Everything will stop. Everything will stop. Everything, all the attention will be on this state function. And where you want the president not to be there, when the president is supposed to be the one, presiding over it, we'll sing the national anthem. And the president is not there. Come on, guys. Come on. Are those the wishes that you think the court in South Africa will accept? Are those the wishes that you think the South African court will tolerate? Will South Africa accept their president to be suspended? Can a court, even in South Africa there, can it agree that their president be suspended for the time of the function? Can they accept that? Can they accept that? No, because that is what Ed Galongu wanted. But is that reasonable? Is that reasonable? Certainly not. Certainly not. No. At the end of the day, we'll bury him here. We'll bury him here. Since the South African constitution said that you give to the family. Yes, that's what the South African law say. Give to the family. But Makebi Zulu, you have to remember that this man who has died is not a South African. Yes, he died on the South African soil. He died within the borders of South Africa, a sovereign state with its own constitution. But are you telling me that South Africa will ignore the fact that this man is a former president? Will South Africa ignore this stubborn fact that Ed Galongu is a former president? Will the South African government, or the South African court in this case, will the South African court just ignore our constitution, which this man who is former head of state swore to uphold? Ed Galongu swore to uphold the constitution. He swore twice. He swore, I swear that I shall defend and protect the constitution of our country. Will South Africa ignore that? To say, no. I mean, that is in Zambia. It's okay. If you're. Here we are following our laws. We are following our laws. Will South Africa ignore that? Will South African court ignore that? That this man is a former head of state. This man swore to uphold a constitution of his country. Will South Africa ignore that? And just say, no. Come on. Give to the family and do whatever you want. Will South African court ignore that? Will they ignore that? He swore to uphold the constitution. Will South Africa ignore this constitution that this man swore to uphold? Are they going to ignore? Are they not going to hear Kavesha to say, no, but where we come from, this is how we're supposed to treat this matter? Because that's what Kavesha will be saying. Kavesha will be saying, according to our country, this is our former head of state, and according to our country, our constitution says that the former head of state, the incumbent, and the former head of state is supposed to be buried by the state. This is in our constitution. That the former head of state is supposed to be buried by the state. The same way that you are demanding for his benefits. No, the benefits. This is part of the entitlement. This is part of that. And the government wants to uphold this. And they have got a history of upholding it. Because they were paying. So, the Zambian government is actually on the good grounds here. If they didn't pay, the moment he left, they didn't pay. You can accuse them that no, they didn't want to pay. But they were paying. They only stopped when Ed Galongu came back into politics and announced it himself. Ed Galongu announced it himself to say, I've come back, I'm a benefit to go. I don't care. He did it. He said it. And they followed the constitution. Even in this death, they are following the constitution. And they will tell the court to say, we are following the constitution. And you, Makebi Zulu, what documents would you be quoting? What documents? What evidence would you be putting before the court? No, himself, Ed Galongu said this. By the way, you are saying he said this, he said this. Where is the evidence? Where is the evidence? Ed Galongu was a lawyer. Just like Mwanawasa. Mwanawasa was a lawyer. And Mwanawasa as a lawyer, he actually did a very good testament. Will of testament. On video, all of us, we watched it. Who could refuse? Who could refuse? Makebi Zulu, do you have a video that is where Ed Galongu is saying, no, I want this, I want this? Do you have that evidence? Are you going to give the South African government in your story, are you going to give them this evidence? Because how do we know? Maybe you are just lying. Maybe you are just lying. Maybe you are just using Ed Galongu's death because Ed Galongu cannot speak for himself. What evidence do you have? Can you give us the evidence, Makebi Zulu? Can you give us the evidence where Ed Galongu said this? From the government side, they have the evidence. From the government side, they have the evidence in whatever they are doing. When he left power and he wrote a letter, they were paying him. They were paying him. When he came back into politics, they withdrew. He's dead. The constitution says he's supposed to be honored and treated with gun salute and whatever. This is what they are following. Are you telling me the South African court will ignore all that? Are you telling me they will ignore all that? Why is the court saying, can you people engage? Why are they saying that? Why are they saying that? Can't you read between the lines? Makebi Zulu, can't you read between the lines? Can't you read the body language of the court? Why did that minister fly into Zambia? Why did that minister fly into Zambia and he held a private meeting with Hakainde Hichilema? Why? Why do you think that minister came to Zambia and had a private meeting with the president? Why? Why? What do you think was discussed there? What do you think was discussed? Do you think that man came to tell Hakainde Hichilema in his face to say, hey, you know what? We are going to give them the body and they'll bury in South Africa. So, just forget it. Look at the language. Look at the body language when they came out of that private meeting. Look at what was said. Look at what was said. Listen to what was said. Look at what this minister said. That minister, of course, he has to speak diplomatically. It is the desire of the South African government that Ed Galongu is buried in Zambia. But we are hoping that, these matters can be resolved. You see, that language. And listen to Hakainde Hichilema. Hakainde Hichilema did not mince his words. Hakainde Hichilema, even before this minister, he said he should be buried in Zambia. If Hakainde Hichilema had a discussion that expressed that South Africa is against Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema would have not had that confidence to speak in the manner that he did. But when you look at the demeanor, when you look at the way he spoke, you can clearly tell that these two governments, they are not in conflict. No. Over this, they are not. They are in agreement. They are in agreement. It is only you, Makebi Zulu, and a few of the family friends who are there. It is only you. But these, they have agreed. These, they are not seeing sense in what you are doing. Open your eyes, Makebi Zulu. Look at it. Look at that court. Look at, the people. You are in South Africa. You are in South Africa, and you are being pampered by the opposition. You are being pampered by the opposition. These are the people that are pampering you. These are the people that are encouraging you. But you have to know which government who tolerate an opposition. We sent a former head of state to go to Zambia to go and negotiate. But they didn't allow him to land. He went with his private jet. But when he arrived in Lusaka, they didn't allow him to land. Hakainde Hichilema is not in opposition. Hakainde Hichilema is in government. And that opposition that you are talking about, that former president you are talking about, is an opposition leader. He's an opposition leader. How can Hakainde Hichilema allow to sit with an opposition leader of another country? It doesn't work out like that. It doesn't work out like that. If you are talking about a former president, a statesman is a different case. But when you are talking about a former leader who is active in politics, how can Hakainde Hichilema come and sit with him? How? How can he? How do you expect the Zambian government to accept a foreign leader, a foreign opposition leader? He's a former head of state, yes. But he is an opposition leader at the same time, causing havoc in South Africa. Causing havoc in South Africa. How can he do that? How would have Cyril Ramaphosa looked at him? How would have Cyril Ramaphosa looked at him? That's why they allowed the minister to come in and have an audience with the president. But this other person that you are talking about, Makebi Zulu, he's a former head of state. But like Ed Galongu, he is also active in politics. A government cannot do that. So you cannot say the government does not want to negotiate because we sent a former head of state. He went there, they didn't allow him to land. They didn't allow him to land because he's an opposition leader. He's an opposition leader, and they cannot talk to this guy in this instance. They can't. Government speaks to another government. That's what it is. Government speaks to another government. Even in South Africa, it's the same thing. You can't be having issues with Hakainde Hichilema. You have issues with Hakainde Hichilema. And then you send the Fred Meme to go and negotiate for you. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? You send an opposition leader to go and negotiate for you. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, in all respect, really, if you look at this issue, it is really pointing, it does not look good on the part of the family. And I can say that they seem to be lacking wisdom. Because there are certain things that you see, even if you have got a strong position, but you assess the situation, you look at it, you humble yourself. Much as you may be right. But there isn't that wisdom. And Makebi Zulu is at the center of this. There is no wisdom in Makebi Zulu. He is not able to advise the family correctly. Because if there was wisdom, he would have advised the family correctly. And this is why I agree when government is saying, let's change negotiators. Let's change negotiators. Because this has come up. That the people who are negotiating, can we have a different team? Because the court has asked them to say, can you resolve these things? Can you talk? So, as we are going into this other phase of negotiating, both parties are being urged to change negotiators. Badaba alifirwa. Na Makebi alifirwa. So, tend to change. Can we bring others? But Makebi Zulu doesn't want to move. Doesn't want to move. But Patrick Kangwa and whatever, those who are the government side, they have agreed to say, okay, you can change us. You can put other people to negotiate. But on the part of Kudiba Lungu, Makebi Zulu is not moving. Makebi Zulu doesn't want to change. And this is where I hold him personally responsible. I hold him personally responsible. Because if you mean well, even if you are a dictator, even if you are the negotiator, you are the person that have been appointed by the family. When you see that, the negotiations are being stalled or are being hampered by your presence, if really you mean well, you would step aside. You would step aside to allow others to come in. If really Makebi Zulu means well, if it is not personal for Makebi Zulu, this decision, this issue of changing negotiators, removing negotiators who are there, if really Makebi Zulu means well, he can easily step aside. But no, how can Makebi Zulu step aside? This is an opportunity for him, as he put it. It is an opportunity for him to be covered by international media. It is an opportunity for him to tell his narrative, to tell his lies. So how can Makebi Zulu recuse himself? Makebi Zulu can't recuse himself because he has got vested personal interest. Makebi Zulu has political interest. Makebi Zulu is a failure who failed and is being haunted by the ghost of failure. Makebi Zulu, they gave him a constituency. Malambo constituency, they gave him on a silver platter. On top of that, they gave him to be a minister in Eastern Province, one of the strongholds of the PF. One of the strongholds of the PF. And on top of that, where he comes from. Where he comes from. But this is where Makebi Zulu lost an election. He lost an election. The election started, the ballot boxes opened at 6 o'clock. Makebi Zulu had lost elections by 10 hours. By 10 hours, Makebi Zulu had lost elections. Go and check. Go and check. They gave you a constituency. They even make you a minister. And Makebi Zulu, by the way, he was also a lawyer to most of these guys who are making money in PF. Most of these guys, I mean, you have seen all those guys who are accused of having embezzled millions of dollars. All of them. It is Makebi Zulu who has been representing them. Even when he was in government, all these big guys were going to Makebi Zulu. So we can safely say Makebi Zulu had utusaka twandala motu ingi. He had all the money. So if you think of it, bakupela constituency without campaigning, bakupela minister, now ukwata no tusaka twandalama, because all those who are getting money, who made money in PF, bale amkutura kuli Makebi Zulu. Makebi Zulu had money. And yet, ama elections yaisa. First term Muntwandi. First term. Ama elections yaisa. And it is the stronghold of PF. Walusa pa 10 hours. Within 4 hours, ama elections yatamba. Within 4 hours, Makebi Zulu lost the elections. And now, he wants to reinvent himself. He wants to absorb himself of his failure. This is a little man with a big ego. He can't stand on his own. Makebi Zulu can't stand on his own. He can't. Ngatuashika. I mean, which media will Makebi Zulu talk to? Who is going to follow Makebi Zulu? Who? Who is going to follow Makebi Zulu? Even me, I am far better than Makebi Zulu. Some of you have been saying, hey, Makebi Zulu is better than whatever. I am far much better than Makebi Zulu. I'm far much better than Makebi Zulu. My political life, nobody has given me money to prop up my political whatever. If I had been given the kind of chance that when Makebi Zulu were given, you think I would be at the same level? Eh? You think I would behave like when Makebi Zulu? Eh? That is why even even Ed Galongu Valentini Bantin Vadishiva. Ichuma Ichinga to Pinga to Achperage. Warfare. I fight on my own. But Makebi Zulu was given all this. And look, nothing. So now he's worried. His political career is going to be buried together with Ed Galongu. So no, please, let us not bury. Let us not bury. Let us just deposit it in South Africa. Because in South Africa, they are not burying. In South Africa, they are simply depositing the body. So that at the right time, they can go and take it. That is the intention. I told you that it's politics. It's about politics, first of all, to embalance Hakainde Hichilema. Secondly, to come and use the body, you know, like bonds. They are depositing political bonds in that body. Because at the right time, they will go and withdraw those bonds and sell them to the Zambian people to say, you see, Hakainde Hichilema treated this, treated Ed Galongu very badly, and he ended up being buried in South Africa. So now we want to bring back the body, blah, 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 blah. Nonsense. I can't be part of that. I can't be part of that. I can't. I can't be part of that. I can't be part of that. I can't be. I can't be. Nakana. That's what you want. Hakainde Hichilema has got issues. And I want to warn everybody that, yes, today I'm talking like this. Tomorrow, if there will be something that is against Hakainde Hichilema, I will speak against him. I will speak against him. But on this one, no. Let us agree with the man. Let us respect the man. The man is the head of state. The man is the head of state. Let us appreciate his efforts to bringing this whatever. Some people are saying, no, but how can you take a widow to court? I mean, what choice do they have? What choice do they have? They have to do this. They have to do this. And I commend Hakainde Hichilema on this one. Hakainde Hichilema has really been exceptionally well in this. He has exuded leadership. And I commend him for that. I commend him for that. There is no any other way. I mean, Hakainde Hichilema has done so well. He has done so well. And we need to just to commend Hakainde Hichilema on this one. We need to commend Hakainde Hichilema on this one. Makebi Zulu and whatever the family that they are doing, no. No. It is not right. It is not right, my dear Zambians. It is not right. And you don't say, no, whatever they are going to court, Zambian government have got no choice. They have no choice. And the South African government must have hinted to them to say, look, we cannot force them ourselves. Maybe just go to court. Because the court will rule. When the court rules, you know, it is an independent body. And from the way the court has come out, the court is emphasizing, can you resolve this? Can you resolve this? Makebi Zulu doesn't want to resolve. Because for him, it is an opportunity. It is an opportunity. Without this, Makebi Zulu is nothing. Anyway, let me open phone line so that you people can call in. Let me open phone lines. I gave the phone line earlier on. I'm opening phone lines so that you people can also come in. So you have the number. You can call in and you know, give your opinion, what you think about this. Surely it is very sad. It is just not right. It is not right. And when you talk about public interest, you know, because the other issue is the issue of public interest. Makebi Zulu doesn't care about the rest of you Zambians. He doesn't care. For Makebi Zulu, as long as, you know, his rich friends are there, that is okay. He doesn't care about the rest of you. But, you know, it is not only those rich people that are going to South Africa to bury him who wants to bid farewell to Ed Galongu. Even ordinary Zambians want to bid farewell to him. And I don't know, will South African government ignore that this man was voted by people twice? Twice they voted for Ed Galongu to be president. Will the South African government just toss away that huge public interest? Are they just going to toss it away to say, no, I mean, that is their problem. That is their problem. The family wants to bury him here, so it's okay. Those who voted for him, it is their problem. Will they do that? Will they do that really? Are they just going to toss away public interest? And then we even have a precedence where Ed Galongu's administration, it's not on this line. It's not on this line. It's on the other line. By the fact that you have my number, please don't use my line to call. It is this other phone. There is a line that I've given which is supposed to be used. And so don't call me on my direct line. There is a phone that I use for this purpose. There is a line that I use for this purpose. So the issue of public interest is also very important. Yes, we have to respect the wills of the family. We have to respect that. But you know, this man was the former head of state. People voted for Ed Galongu. Twice. People voted for Ed Galongu twice. In 2015 and in 2016, they voted for him to be their president. How can you just today, toss away that to say, no, it doesn't matter. As long as Given Luwinda is there, and these others, as long as these people are here, it's okay. We can bury. No. I think the South African government, the South African court, will take consideration of these matters. I think they will. And for me, what I'm really emphasizing is also that, you know, no, but I'm not gonna use this one. I'm not using this line for this. Hello? I'll just block this one. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, what's up?
Yes.
Yeah, Munshani mkwe.
Wina from mkwe.
Okay, I tell you. So this is Matthews calling.
Yes, Matthews.
I've been following you. I've been following your program, yani Watali. What you are saying is right, Watali. Because somewhere, I feel like also Makebi Zulu is contributing to my problems. You say I stick. Saba uzava zona ita family because Africa was into zona because if Makebi Zulu asembe mila pakati. Asembe na maproblem yonsa pakati. Asembe na maproblem yonsa watali. Asembe stinafike na konso. So it's like number. There are other things family house ku family. Family civil vabu kuli ba church. So he was supposed to be pakati so that at least he is helping both sides, the government and the family, so that my problems don't say tasiri za buno. So Makebi Zulu na kwata woka problem.
Now what a problem, Muntu. Now what a problem. Thank you.
Now what a problem, Matari.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, thank you. Let me just go straight to the point.
Yeah.
So, the idea hapa Makebi Zulu, amane concessions yali apanga, because if you have amane concessions yali important, yakwebati film for Fondelanda?
Film Africa.
Oh, thank you. So, amane concessions yali important, yakwebati chidonga chapwa abantu barayikarashani.
You know?
It's very important for you. No, definitely but no, abantu batatu bari enda nechitumbi.
You know?
How will that help them?
You know?
Because they feel important. No, but and then yari amaliashi ya fuide yalanda away from the public. Tedi ashia kuleta parwereri kwa bati no 3-4 ABCD mirando balalanshanye kwa no what would be best for us would be ishimirandu tukalanshanye out of court. Kuna mwarorosha uromulando wa mawa SIA $400,000. Tedi ashia yari ngirero kuya kukochiridia. Should have been deoti mu fiatarala than yafika paria kula bashitabe stress. What are you are not helping them. So namfuni area shidi if charo muchalo, I'm sure whether you are PF or UPND, we know that what is important for these people is to have those issues dealt with, because even if I'm UPND, I wouldn't want it bakale sempera kumakoti, we're not helping. Of course, but let's find a way of dealing with those issues out of court. They can negotiate, you conclude everything, they move on, because ichiro tachiramba kulivena. Chikamba ngatuashika, bashala veka, rumba, bakumfa impact. Number, bambe chiro, namumige pona fimbi, we are not helping. So, agreement, my issues there, after focusing, my issues there, coach, I mean, everyone knows. Why are you focusing on non-issues? Yeah, but no, it's too much in a private plane. What's that? Is that the kind of negotiation which will help people? No, it's not been fair. Nangufe, I think type yaka Makebi Zulu, need akobati, alefo echintu ba telefo kulanda, alefo imomo umutire. No, actually, Insha statement, no one. So I think, for example, like, because now what the issue ya mwecha wakumukoti, maybe in the alefo bakamonat no, part of negotiation should also be how are they going to help with brother Mochine Mulando Reaquat. But Tarefo Kuranda, Arefo I pang effect no Takwatama demandi in action more but no Trifo Konaka. He also needs to be honest.
But hold on a minute. You know what? Hold on a bit there. You know what? You have just brought up an issue that we may be overlooking, and which might be crowding Makebi Zulu from being objective. Makebi Zulu has got his brother facing a very serious offense in the courts. Surely Makebi Zulu, really, I think you are very right that, he shouldn't even be, I think he should have really stayed away from this. Looking at, his brother facing murder, His brother is facing murder in court. And you are busy negotiating, trying to be moralistic, trying to say, no, they were very bad. Hey, Hakainde Hichilema was very bad. And yet your brother is being accused of having brutally killed someone. Imagine, look at this instance. You are saying Hakainde Hichilema was very bad to Ed Galongu. And remember, Ed Galongu was also bad to Hakainde Hichilema. But anyway, you are accusing Hakainde Hichilema of being so bad. And yet you have got your brother. Today we form a testimony of how brutally they killed a person. No, that is a very good point.
So, because America, there's no Engalanda Parifimbi. Let him talk about the issues here, because that family, they have a life to live after the funeral. So you can't concentrate on non-issues. Try to deal with those issues.
No. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Mr. President, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
My name is Eric.
Yes, please. Go ahead, Eric.
Thank you very much. For me, I want to start it this way. I think you remember Madam Edith Nawak how she criticized the current president and all those allegations of that Choma farm, with it Namala farm and stuff. Those were very serious allegations when it came to the issue of the Hatem Bozi and everything. The moment that lady died, I think you saw how the president handled that funeral. Who is this? Kifumubanda, how he spoke in that. The president was seated there.
Yes. Yes. He basically thought of the president. Yes.
Yes, yes. He was seated there and then spoke, Mr. President, we need the healing. We appeal to you as the leader of this nation to bring us there. But in real life, Edith Nawakwi and HH, they were serious critics.
Yes.
You see. So this is what almost everybody else expected to say, okay, this, has happened. We don't know, because Ed Galongu, whether he was delayed or whether he could have gone early, that remains to God himself.
Yes.
Maybe it was just time that at that particular time when Ed Galongu left her, that was God's own intention at that particular time. So for this particular issue, Makebi Zulu has come out two persons just today. I don't think whatever he was saying to say, now we are going to tell the world I don't think that is the wish of the family. I don't think that is coming from the family to say now it's time for us to go and campaign out there to tell the world, to tell the people, to say this is what the government did. I mean, it is not, at the end of the day, what does he get out of that? What is he going to get? There's completely nothing. So they are operating on impulse because they are seeing those opposition political leaders that have come to sympathize with them and whoever is offering that solidarity. And then they think now, everybody else looks like they are on our side. So what we can do, we can demonize this government, which is not good. It is not building. Even those opposition leaders that are vying to come into government, I don't think that should be the right way. If they are vying to come or aspiring to come into government, I don't think that's the right way they could want to come and govern the country. No. It should be a way. The way you have taken that stance to say, you think you are in exile, not because the Ed Galongu changed, but because of the current administration that there. But you cannot demonize your country, which you aspire to lead someday. And there are instances where you hold back to say, okay, fine, I think this is just the right thing be done, and it should be like that.
Thank you, my brother.
I think that's my submission. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Please try to be brief so that we can take many calls,
Okay, sir. So I'll be just short to just help others to open their eyes up. So when you look at the other point of the negotiation, these guys are talking about unit and he's talking about the harmony. They are just it's about their cases, and that's it. They know their cases to say their shield is gone because ECL was their shield in their cases. So now they know that he's gone, is no more. What they are scared of is what will happen after the value, and no one is there that they will run to. That's the only thing they are scared of. They know to say now the man who was there for us is no more. So what will happen? And we have got so many cases going on. So the rule of law for them is to make sure that they are not followed and they don't go in. That's all. So this is bad, and they are making it look like it's about HH. It's not about HH. It's about their political mileage and gain. But at the end of the day, they are scared to face their cases out there.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening.
Sure. This is Josh.
Yes, Mr. Josh. Please go ahead and try to be brief so that we can take many calls.
All right. Sure. What are you going to talk about the son, Daliso, whose passport has been, I would say, confiscated from him? He's not there at the funeral. will he allow his father to be buried in his absence?
Let me take an opportunity to clarify something on that one before you go on. First of all, there was news that Daliso had asked for a passport and the DEC had refused to give him. Daliso's passport was gotten way before this came. It is because of the cases and they were scared that he might run away. That's why they got the passport. But Daliso has not gone, has not asked for his passport so that he can travel. So I'm taking advantage of this point to clarify that what Mamumbi Piri said, DEC refused to say Daliso has not asked for a passport to be given back so that he can travel. And from what I understand, Daliso, from what I've gotten behind the scenes, Daliso is of a different attitude at all this. Daliso is looking at this differently. I can assure you that. Because we're talking about the Lungu family. Not all the children are agreeing with what Makebi Zulu is saying. Some children, they have taken a different approach. And I hope the government will consider that. I can't say more, but I can tell you that some children, they have got a different attitude towards this. And I hope the government will consider their different view. Just that we cannot come here and say that Daliso said this, or whoever said this. But all I can tell you is that not all children are agreeing with what Makebi Zulu is saying. But go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. No, that was just my question. That was just short and brief.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So and that is the issue, you know, because when you say family, you know, it might come out like everyone is in agreement. No. I for one know that not all the family members, those as we know, because they are actually counted. When they sit, they are trying to make it that Ed Galongu had a big family. But come on, those people that are just sitting there, they are cadres, you know. They are cadres, and the people who cannot also advise the widow in this case. People who cannot advise the widow in this case. Because this is the problem that we have. But Ed Galongu surrounded himself with these sycophants, people who cannot challenge you. He was too comfortable with people that can never challenge him. I mean, for me, we had our relationship. That's why our relationship with Ed Galongu, it was, you know, today we agree, tomorrow we don't agree. Because I just never used to agree everything. But these other people, they were just agreeing. Even now, even in this situation, not that everybody agrees. Me, I know, Given Rubinda is a very intelligent man. I don't think Ed Galongu, Given Rubinda agrees with this. I don't think many others agree with this. But you know, they are scared to bring out their views. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm listening to everything what you are saying there. So now my question is, why do you keep on talking on the Makebi Zulu and the Lungu family? But every step.
Ninda Ndefing, son, I've said a lot of things to explain that, so you can't be asking me that question. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Adi.
Yes.
In my thought confusion about, you know, sometimes you call about but I wonder to lose a lot in quality. To understand Pama issues Java Makebi Zulu and the Lungu family and how we are negotiating their cases and all those things. But you know, a poor person like me who ask at number, is it that the rich Nangwa Sangam Mafia will be the way to get out through negotiating? Why can't we just say Apa Africa Pamanjapa Nina mtale sunshire mpapa. Let it go to court if it has to go to court. Because now it's becoming like whenever the rich have problems, they can always negotiate and use the law to go around. Because the Lungu family was given the opportunity to negotiate. But if they want to play hard, then let's stick to the law and follow the law and see how it goes. That's my submission.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello, Mr. Tayali. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to say something concerning what you're saying. My contribution is, in all of this, it's quite clear that there's just a hidden agenda, because even the reasoning that is behind why they're keeping the body in South Africa does not make logical sense. It is unheard of that a dead person will say, I don't want A, B, C, or this and this person to come to my funeral. That does not even make sense. And then to the issue of like what has happened today with the whole change and the government trying to step in to take the issue to court, I feel like that is a good move, because even if it were to fail, at least we will know that the government did everything that they could to bring the former president's body back home. Because this is about us, the Zambian people. It's not about one party. It's about everybody else that is involved. It's about you. It's about me. It's about the PF. It's about his family as well. He deserves to be buried in his country. And I feel like we as a country should come together and make sure that comes to happen. We shouldn't divide because of this. In fact, this should have been like a point of unifying us instead of dividing us. That is what I think. And as a finishing up comment, I just want to say thank you so much that you do this. It's quite commendable that you come out and you speak to people and you give your views. It's not every day that you're going to agree with the government or whatnot, but it's good that you are very objective, and I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you very much. I ask for your prayers, especially that so many friends of mine are running away from me. So please pray for me.
We shall pray for you. We shall be with you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Mr. Tari, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine. I will be brief. I'm going to touch two issues. Number one, Mr. Tari, you are a public figure. And whatever is being spoken in the public, or whatever is of the public, I can give an example. The same lady who called you earlier, she's not the only one actually. There are a lot of people who say, why are you speaking about this issue? No. This is not the issue of boyfriend and girlfriend whereby no. This is an issue that is in the public domain. And you being a public figure, a public lawyer, you are supposed to speak about it.
Yes.
No one is supposed to kukuleshati yo Mr. Tari tamwalande parif. The second issue, inende mnafe Makebi Zulu is a narandashan. I don't want to use a bad word, but is a pen in the something. But use another word.
It's a pen in the wrong place.
Yes, because even when there is straight,
you know,
Makebi Zulu ni shafi is a dangerous person, even to the Zambian people. And you know, just to conclude, the reason all these people acting like this, Mamona, Baraba Kovati, Bari Chetekesa Namudi ECL at Arapanga Pompiraku. All I say bati, no, Narapanga plan B. All number Mudi plan B, Momini, Mudala, unfortunately may so rest in peace, Atusha. I'm Dara, Papa Okay, my brother, good night.
Not to be I don't want you momwini. Kaina inandi muplani B. Hello? To be hello?
Hello, Mr. Tayari.
Yes, sir.
This is Simon calling you from Namibia.
Okay.
Simon
Okay, please go ahead.
Today, Conkedia, she don't say from Delanda. Otherwise, I'm ready to explain Buenos Aires. Number, before you go, Makebi na family aba Lungu kebati. If you are Lungu today, fire, Zambia, kuka bashiki in Zambia. Noti kucharo chimbiawe. Number, I'm a politician, whatever support, I'm not what you are political mileage. Whenever you send attention, you have to so that the we need upon my election. We say that I'm want to vote before to say the body about they want to get power at all costs. Zambia is a Christian nation. Here to I can't Christian nation. So Makebi Zulu, Makab Zulu, take you to a punch. Nini shwaketi wachiti advise family munshire yusu mwana wako bativena bade pangira penda rama no pangira peshina because international media ile amkukopa ile amkushashani vena paja panga
bare umfuika wa Makebi
family denta ile muni fina abantu ambita bare mononso yawe so Mr. Makebi is just making his name and money.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Fine. Anyway, just a quick one. I just to get your views on this, your honest views. After all this is said and done, what do you think will be next for the Tonse Alliance and the PF, especially people like the KBF and them? I just want to get your views because I've noticed. Maybe I don't know if you got the soft spot for KBF. Maybe no, just a minute. Sorry. They are in two phases. I just want to listen.
Yeah, but now listen, my brother. Listen, my brother. Listen, my brother. I think this is not the time for us to engage on that. The time will come. I think let's focus on that. We will come back to the Tonse, to the politics later on. Hello? 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 I can't hear. I can barely hear you. Can you speak direct through the phone of the mic? The mic of the phone. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Tayari.
Yes, I can hear you better now.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hao namlanda kwena nasi mfuika. Nasi mfuika. Nomba contribution yangi. Yakwe wati. Tufile tule sambili na pofinwe chintunga chaita. Liye wa president wa hiki president walatusha tuwalingire tuwalolesha isinto kosilea panima yako ishiwo kwewa ati walwele limwe sintu ilesa fya isesire kwa timuliro but palatu watampa na kasiki kama ake kaka epambiro muliro ero fya fileti nomba so ngakuli abali mumabuteko tulelolesha kwesilimu tulelika ko ama politics aside yatwale mwana kuli basata na ba mwana wasa basata baleshauta ba mwana wasa parali babashauta ba mwana wasa kusa mfati basata na balwala babutuka lubiro babatuwara tigasimu South Africa basata bapola babula n'okubwera Seri tuleoleza apatampire sehemu ya muliro ngakwali kwamba bwino indi ngatene nesisi ninekyonsesi ngatakuli so efo ningalanda kufe tusambireko kimo ebaleba mubuteko okulaba ebishembali kyonse kibiri pasi ekitira palino nkitapa nti nkisyatampa tetwakire syalaterera papeni nangu nakulita nshinga fikeza palima ya myaka 5, 10, 15 somewhere there. Natotera.
Yeah, I'm kind of totera. Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Bueno,
Femkwa.
Bueno, can I make a contribution?
Please go ahead.
Yes, please. Now on the what I want to say myself is that there is no way the Lungu family is going to win this case. Okay? Because there's so much evidence against them. You know. So isn't there anybody in their family or in PF, yeah, who can sit down with the government and solve this thing before the court hearing? Yeah, that is the only way forward. Going to court and back and forth, they won't win this case at all. They won't win the case. So the only way is sit down out of court and solve this issue before the court next week. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, we're good.
Now we will.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it is bad.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you. Oh, Lord. It was so clear, man. Hello? Hello?
Watari maomben.
I'm Kwama Womben.
Someone. Watari.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, hi.
Yes. Hi.
Finally, I didn't even know that I'll get through.
Yeah, it's a lottery to go through on this slide.
I know. Whew, finally. I hope you know who this is.
Please go ahead.
Okay. I'm not gonna stay long. I'm just gonna be brief, straight to the point. This is Ethel. I'm sure everyone knows. I'll just call myself OBL, your future mother of the nation, like I always call myself. There was a point that was raised by a certain gentleman, I didn't even get the name, where he says, like, a lot of people, they get away because they have money, or even this case won't go anywhere because it's rich people. Well, what I can tell you is that the Zambia that you used to know, where people get away with crimes, is long gone. So just know that no one will get away with us. That I can assure you. Even if President Edgar will let this go, but rest be assured that after President Edgar, once I come in myself, Mulandu Suola, Tizakazusha Zimilandu, people will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Elo noti chumbwa kaila jamni mmaenda kwa kupeleka nkoni mukayonda wambisana chifundo wakuchosani ineza kupelekani kurasha kuja kwa bende kabantu wakuwikani
Ethel.
No, nipase nkoni.
Hello?
Waombenga batari.
I'm Kwama Womben.
Mkwani. Watari programu mtretera. Isuma sana.
Natotera.
Nesare mpara. Watari wa Zulu na wa Emmanuel Mwamba.
n'abaleta confusion. Abo abantu babiri n'abakita affect Zambia yonse because tabareroresha ati bote basungire kulya. Yaishibikwe n'ekyalo kyonse kya Zambia. But yayasungwa ku bantu abanono. Awabali ba Zulu, ba Emmanuel Mwamba. Some two people ever keeping a board there abantu abingi. Because ba president bataringa mwaroresha. Family taikweta amakoko kupitirira pali ba Mwamba na Bazulu. Ever control a family, then aro bale website ba family barandati. Ba family barandati. Ocho barefu ako chita imbalance bakateka beso. Bakwe batinga bashika ku South Africa popena bakafumishepo na politics mwari mwene fya chitike. Mwari mwene omunanku bali murekereshe chinga chakwa tochifuire twaisho pali politics. Bamndara aro babwerere mu politics bena barishi batifiri fyonso munabo akulaba chi. Imo muri ba opposition president inshi fire emichitikira.
You know?
Mwari butuka mcharo chenu. Because ba opposition president mujamaronga chako
nangubena tekumika tapakanwa iyo balungu abene bali mu power fish batisire kuri akainde na bambi iyo bali mu power abene the government must apologize. The government must apologize, but who is going to apologize for Ed Galongu? Who is going to apologize for Ed Galongu? Anyway, go ahead.
Uliko temu imo mwabo mfishepo kunu mea gwebati. Pali ba HH. Pali distance. Then pali isa ba former president ba Lungu. Ulo pali ba Lungu hapa nothing. So manje ba Emmanuel Mwambare munakwati na wakwata amaka. Bara chita attack government. One bare chita accuse government ya TIP, bare chita ba HH accuse ya TVP. Wa bare abatonse ila mira. So balore sheko na pali fwe bantu fwe batembe no balungu fwe bayishibe balungu ngaba fyashibeso.
Yo,
anyway, na tayari bakumpera ko opportunity ya kuanda kona yemu.
Okay. You see this issue of trying to emphasize. No, he did this, he did this, he did this. The point is that, you know, I'm a politics issue, Buffy. You know, politics is always, it's not easy. Politics, they have, and I keep saying this. And it's not that, yes, it is a justification for, you know, Haka in the HLM are doing wrong things, you know, or treating us bad. It is not a justification. But the fact is that politics is just difficulty anywhere. Na kwa America, yali kosa. Politics te havana. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Kani, mwabomba soma.
Bueno femkwa.
Awe chawa. Namushwa, what is to discuss about? Very good points, but there's just one point that people are not looking at. You know, one of Umurumendo and that Makebi Zulu, you know, I forgot about that case. Makebi Zulu has got a brother going under
trial.
Yes. That is the point that most of us have missed. I'm telling you, even more than 99% of Zambians.
Even me, I didn't think about
haven't,
it.
Like, looked at it.
No, even me, I didn't look at it.
So, that is the thing that we all need to start looking at now. This is just, it's no longer about just the family. No. It's more.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
All right. That's my contribution. Thank you so much.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mushani Mashkia.
I'm fine.
So the first one is by Judge Palia, I think but he mentioned something like public interest. I think this whole case involves the public as well. I think that's the whole, that's maybe the other aspect, Bambi, they are so injured, there's that public interest.
Yes.
Then secondly, therefore, quick Shausheva Makebi, ni pro bono ibale chitabale bomba, or he's just assisting the family?
Well, in this case, he is playing as a family representative. He's not a lawyer, but you see, he's doubling it up. You know, you can't recognize which position, which any family member, which any lawyer. It's very difficult,
that's
you know.
Because when he said it, we'll go to court and we'll go to tell whatever.
Yes.
So that aspect of being a solicitor kicks in.
Yes.
Is he a family member presenting, or at some stage is going to become a lawyer? That wish he will win. It's very blurry. Then thirdly, don't you think there's a conflict of interest somehow? Him negotiating for the family in a state when his brother na kwata case, he won't negotiate in good faith. Don't you think he's not supposed to be one of our negotiators of our family?
Absolutely.
To assist he also problem to go away.
Absolutely.
I think maybe we should also look at that.
Surely, and you know, we didn't. Even me, I never thought about it. It has just come to light when this person brought it up. But it is a very important point. How can you be the negotiator with the government when your brother is in court on a serious, very serious murder trial?
Exactly.
How? Murder trial. How can you? I mean, where do you stand? What moral ground do you have to even start saying,
absolutely,
no, he did this, he didn't allow him to whatever. I mean, I know the case has not been concluded. It is still going on, but surely, I mean, the case doesn't look good, and even the evidence that is coming out of court, how wondering?
Yeah.
No.
So limbi na vena family baloweshe kwa shilimbi ba Makebi veva kova negotiator based on that. Na wakatako ka self interest na vena so at the end of the day it's going to benefit then the family. There's life after all this. How are they going to go back to Zambia? How are they going to relate to the government, fire help? So we should also look at that. I think that's my 2 cents.
No, thank you very much. Thank you. Very good points. Hello? Hello? Please stay away from the other phone. Yes, hello?
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
Okay, I want to, I'm imagining Lungu was a good man.
You know?
But when I look at Makebi, I'm imagining him in the same room with Lungu and then advising how to treat the church when he was in opposition. I think this hatred is coming from these people who are even still alive now, who hid it through the head of state. Because I'm seeing pure hatred there of the president as an individual, to the extent of disregarding the institution of presidents. Maybe we might be saying these people hated each other, yet it's people behind them who are advising them against going for each other's throat.
Yes. And my brother, just hold on a bit there. You say maybe these people didn't even hate each other. It is the people around them. Me, I can tell you that I used to sit with Malungu. We had a relationship. We used to talk. And I can tell you, never at once did I hear Ed Galongu speak so much against HH. Never. If anything, when I look at Ed Galongu I would say I was worse off in terms of speaking against Hakainde Ichilema than Ed Galongu. So I'm actually getting surprised when I hear these kind of things.
Because you look at it, okay, suppose Makebi was the head of state. One day he becomes the head of state, and then HH is former.
You know?
Could we spare him?
You know?
For me, I'm seeing it beyond being a family. You mean speaking for the family. That is now personal.
Yes, it's very personal. It's very personal.
Yeah, that is now personal. So we need to be very careful as Zambians, even as we are entertaining such kind of characters in our political circles, because a precedent is being set. Because suppose the deceased, the Ed Galongu was there, would you have allowed something like this keep on going on for a period of 3 weeks, a month? You are talking about the same thing.
No, he wouldn't. Ed Galongu. No.
And if you look at the people from the family side, you look at the people from the family side, you know, those are women that I'm seeing there close to Makab Zulu. And you know, women during such times, they use emotions, you know.
Yeah.
So this guy is taking advantage of that, and then he's using the name of the family to champion his own personal agenda, which is very unfair.
Yeah. No, thank you, my brother. Thank you.
It's very, very unfair. We need to, you know, I don't know how I can find a way of telling this guy, because it's now too much.
Thank you. Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Tali.
Good evening.
My name is Joshua Mwinya.
Yes, Mr. Joshua.
Yes, I just want to make an observation.
Yes.
You know, the whole Tonse Alliance and everybody, how insensitive they are towards their own members. At the secretariat there, they had a funeral for 4 or 5 days, and people were beating drums. Even if you go there at 02, there were people. But when it came to this funeral for the rich, you saw everybody jumping on planes. And what happened to their members?
Those who are drumming up.
Those who are drumming up, they remained. You could see everyone on the plane. You can't go there by bus. Everybody was flying, showing pictures. It showed that when it matters the most, a normal person doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They showed us their leadership. Those people don't care about anybody. So those people, Vana Mwanga, Vana Chitalu, Vana Nani, everybody has gone back to their compounds. Then they were on their planes going for the funeral. Then to make matters worse, if you manage to go by bus for the funeral in Johannesburg, you can only get to the funeral by invitation. And then you won't go to the burial because you are a nobody. And then tomorrow you come back and ask for a vote. So for me, they have exposed themselves who they are. You say a general person doesn't matter, but President Edgar Chagwa said, you know what? Let the guy from George Compound come and see his president. He has carried the nation on the back and needs to be commended for it. That is my contribution.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Tayali. How are you?
Fine, fine. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. My name is Bessie, and I'm calling you from Canada.
Oh.
I'm following this program.
Thank you. Great.
Yeah, I'm a Zambian, born, raised in Zambia, but a Canadian citizen. But I'm following this state funeral very well. And I can actually say I'm actually very disappointed with the Lungu family, especially with Mayowa Esther, because honestly, where do you draw the line? That's my question for her. Like, where do you actually draw the line and put a stop to the disgrace? You know, to the embarrassment, because this is becoming so cumbersome. BBC is watching, the world is watching for a country. I'm going to say, like, if I tell people that I was born and raised in Zambia, Zambia has a good report. A report of peace, a report of where we are one of the countries in Africa that has democracy because we've been able to change governments through our voting power. You get me, right? So we have that great report across the world, And what this family is doing is causing disruption at an international level, how people are beginning to perceive our nation, which is so stupid. And I literally, I don't care about the Makebis. I don't care because those guys are just after money and they're after increasing the ratings for their political careers and their political mileages. But that woman is like the wife, she is currently the one who holds the key to stop this nonsense and give her dear husband her befitting burial that he deserves.
Yeah.
Make no mistake, I'm no fan of Lungu. I'm no fan of the Patriotic Front because they are the reason why a lot of things did not work well in Zambia. But in death, I feel like Mr. Lungu deserves more. But this family is taking away that, like they are literally taking that away from a man who worked for our country.
Yeah.
Wadiaba Mayo needs to put her foot down and literally just draw the line and say, where does this stop? This has to stop. Let's respect the man and put him to rest. And the government should not stop. They should take them to court, the highest court. If it means going to international court, let them take that family because enough of this stupidity. Thank you, Mr. Tayali, for this platform. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Let them fight them until to the highest court, even to the international court. Go ahead. Hello?
Yes, what else? Yeah, I'm your regular follower, and whether you talk on issues that I like, that I don't like, I think much of what you've been doing is very objective and helping our society here.
Thank you.
So my point here is that there's so much ignorance here in Zambia, and I don't know whether it's religion or what, but you are waking us up because of there's so much ignorance, and I think your lectures, if I can call them lectures, they're really educative. We are being educated, and people have to wake up, and we need to be objective and move. Otherwise, what is happening here is that the Lungu family or the Makebi side, they are aimed at embarrassing the head of state and just creating confusion. And if we mess up here, and of course, out of ignorance, we may lose it. So otherwise, we are following, and thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. Chagwa.
Buena femkwe.
Ciao, Mecho. Inaendelea kushauri. Concerning naene malirwa ya bwinaya. Uveshwa kadwa fyaba mona chimuntu alifana mtakwaba. Akwada fyaba mona ti waisio balifana mtavao.
Kushiriki so much. Tamleshini kisaini.
Ukushiriki. Cause akaleetwa lefi mwana kuluma okutola lefi mwana ati ni drama namba gena fyamba okufuma buli drama. Cause like fwe bena Zambia nomba na chitunia nushalobe mwana ati yolimbi ifimule wati yo bafitele uma politics. Na bifumana uma politics again. Kwena omuntu weza balefu ati bakese pangani campaign muntu nsho ine win bali after babe patio umuntu ali for tukese munatio na avuka. Kwena winga mbotera ni nani? Winga votere chiwa ni nani?
Awe umfamune. I can tell you because I'm here to help at least people with the facts. The truth of the matter is that balungu ukufwa balifwa. Ukufwa balifwa. That is no doubt. If you feel dimule umfwa kwa yo taturefwa body viewing shani balef mwena muri udia msango wa mtu nganya. ukwebati yo balafumya ko efishimba baka inde ichirema shani efu bale
kwisho kwini bala bantu bali abali ni ba president before ka and he's supposed to belong to the state. Nikweza twali mwana kwa mama president bali fwa tapa bako family yase ndati no ba family barashika kwisi tapa tapa para fititika kwesho muchalo nomba pato ala simwena fyafumina kwisa kanshi era kale twali mwana wake yali no batali tamwa wino I know you are a good man, I'm telling you.
Nichonero na musumine fonderanda maironga nikalande ifya kwa tamkemenu maironga mpiribukira
no abantu baba balasambirira abantu balasambirira pano no ati omuntu abaso ai maina pachingarango uyu muntu ai maina pakona uro mtende mchalo. No, you are a good man, I'm telling you.
No, thank you very much. At least I
have... maina pachinga mule maina pakati.
No, thank you, natotela. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Tavi. How are you? Hello. Hi. How are you?
All right. I feel good when I listen to female voices because you know there is power in women. You know.
Yes.
Please
actually,
go ahead.
I was most of the PF guys this morning, and surprisingly, they are very confident that they'll come back to power.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, to let them talk, and I think the whole flight was just full of that.
Oh,
but
you were on the plane, eh?
Is very great.
Oh, you were on the plane with them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so they were giving this vibe that they are confident, they are coming back into power.
Because by the time... Yes. And then what was very funny is that most of them didn't know the outcome. They were very confident. Oh, but then, funny enough, when we got to the airport, the mood changed because there was all that drama that had happened. But what I want to just say is, who made the Lungu people important? Why are we talking about them today? That's the question that I would want. Why are we talking about them? We are talking about them because we made them important as Zambians. Yes. So if we're going to reach a point where they are going to undermine the power of Zambia, then they should, Lungu himself should have stood as president. Just like the way the president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has put it to say, once when you get that position, there are certain things that you have to forego. So at this point, the Zambia win. It's about Zambia and not about them, because we made them important. We made them to be talked about today. We made them to be on the media. We made them. Even BBC has known them. Even the international world has known them. So let Zambia win. That's my contribution, Mr. Tari. Thank you so much for allowing me on the platform.
Thank you. Very good point. We made them. It is because of Zambians that, they are what they are. That we can even talk about them. It is because of Zambians that Tasila today, she's a member of parliament. Hello?
Yes, Natari.
Yes.
Therefore, quick shako vesti, abantu aba. When you are in power, I think whoever should introduce National Day of Prayer, reconciliation, and fasting. No, Mbalero, why is it that they find it difficult to forgive the other camp if they claim that they were wronged? If they claim that ECL was treated by HH, why are they finding it difficult to forgive the other camp? Because they were preaching the word of God by introducing that day. They
even at the Ministry of Religious Affairs. Bamayowa Smaili.
Yes.
And Bamayowa Smaili, she's even the one standing next to the widow. She's even standing. She's the one next to the widow.
The Minister of Religious Affairs.
And my Archbishop. My Archbishop. A Catholic priest.
Hey, then yeah. Then in the Vareta inch, we have to stand which is the other camp. With ECL and HA, who was student is street woman and Minani. And how did they treat me in the street HH in Pamandonia about okay? They even blocked him, he couldn't even attend the funeral. Number, one anyapa, government, Kairekanati, we shouldn't bury ECL of Zambia. Never cooler than man, never push on pusher. The government has not refused to do that. But why are they trying to put it as this by Ed Galongu, who became country like but exile? But the government today is saying we need our former leader back. He went as a little person, but now that he died in that country, we still want his body. We want to bury him in Zambia, where he belongs. But they want to paint a bad picture about this government to make people think they are evil, they are bad people. This is not fair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, it's absurd. How do you introduce a day of, national prayer and reconciliation, and yet you are failing to reconcile with your colleagues, who you also treated bad? We cannot forget this. Truth be told, I am an Ed Galongu boy. I am an Ed Galongu boy, truth be told. But the fact is that Ed Galongu also mistreated the HH. Hello?
Hello, Mr. President. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening.
We are enjoying the president. We are enjoying the debate, the interaction.
Thank you.
Number kusheva Makebi Zulu. Nefo kushaka. Wadi wina poti omura ndu wino bikoti. Because what I tell Mr. President today, but that no, this case is different to Kaunda's. Kaunda was getting his benefit. Number question here when you push Kaunda, are you not evil politics? The issue in what stopped Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu or President Edgar Chagwa Lungu to get his benefits? What he came into politics. Number naisa mwana wachama uyumu aitoiwa waparwanshapa. Aletira no general umo alifuire wa mushiko. Here we are talking about the general. Chakanda pali general na wetrenda pali kateka.
Hello.
Kujena ba muishwache rungu nganga babaiche.
Hello shwalela bachakwe bati. Apo mwalanda pali general difference report. Yakwe bati. General ninchito which you get employed, you apply, it's personal. It's personal. Bu general, it's not a public. Number bu president, bantu bakusala. Bantu bakusala. Turefoya iwe. Kiapusana na bu general. Bu general ninchito wachita apply weka. It is personal. Presidency te personal. President wabantu wonse.
But I tell you, minister, examples. No, talk about someone who was the former president.
Who was voted.
Mr. Kaunda. So, that's why we refer to that because presidency report. We condemn the man because it wasn't helping. Even now, it's failing to help. Over Bishop Ubaya. Kwena umuntu ali mu conflict wayapisha chita cha misa. Ali mu conflict and you are calling for unity and you say this man was like this, was like this. No, sometimes that kind of testimony shouldn't be live and no kuranda tiki so. Chimogoleka femo aleka no kupilanda kupileto wanisha bishop. Echo wafumishe kwetu. Basumaili balina palia someone who was abali ngare dijati minister. Well respected woman Eva linakuya n'abafuna kwatawo bane ushike mu ntende ekikyalo panti kichiriro kyakutwafwa bonse. Because abantu balekutamba n'ebino baleranda uvweni woli ku South Africa.
Nawapusha lekeni sende ko bambi mkwai. Lekeni sende ko bambi. Natete. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening.
Thanks for what you are doing. Let me take this opportunity to talk to you, sir. In as the way you are where you are, we know to say there are cases, but we do not want this thing to happen again. I wish you can reconcile with the government, with whatever what happened, so that you can come back. We start a new life together as Zambians. We've learned a lesson. Let this not repeat itself.
Aye, let me also not die here. Aye. And then my family will also come and say, no, we don't want his body to come back. But anyway, the difference with me, at least me, I've never been in government. But Walungu was in government. But nonetheless, I mean, you are talking about reconciliation. You know, me, I am a very flexible person. You saw me apologizing. You saw me going Kuliwa Chief Mukuni. Me, I'm not this hard-hearted person. I'm a Christian, a good Catholic, you know, who follows what the Catholic teaches. So anyway, yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, it doesn't matter whether public or not. What it matters is a Zambian. You are the son of the soil, a Zambian. In as much as I know that you are that side, that is a chief whom you can engage, and I know he has a big heart. For he has been given that opportunity to rule over people. He has a heart to forgive you. I believe he's going to do that.
Yeah, no.
That is my submission, sir.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. No, and I can say, I mean, Chief Mukuni did forgive me, and we reconciled, and even up to now is my father. So let me not, I'm just making that comment so that, you know, you don't think that, no, Chief Mukuni has been hard-hearted to me. No, he hasn't been. Hello? Hello? Hello?
How are you, sir?
Fine, fine. Please try to speak up.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was laughing when I heard a call from one of my brothers who was doubting about if the president is really dead.
Is he really dead?
Yes, I was even laughing. You know, you can still ask such questions, man, because from the time this funeral started, we've never seen a coffin. We've never seen the body of someone lying there. We just hear rumors, you know. Boss. You wonder, we've seen a lot of funerals, but this one is a little bit unique where even a coffin is very difficult to see. You need to pay something for it to be sure.
You need to be cleared. Even the one who went on a plane, they were told that no, no body viewing. No voter.
It's very tough. That's why the brother was like, no, what is happening in scenario, but he doesn't understand.
No, thank you very much. No, you are not cleared. Mao Sampa, what happened to Mao Sampa, by the way? Anyway, hello? Hello?
Hello, President.
I am
Mkai. President Nachila Mfuko Kwiva Emmanuel Mwamba. Most of the people are calling Kwiva Emmanuel Mwamba. Wale Tasha, that's the other side. Now, for now, and most of the people who are calling you, Wale Tasha, the other side.
Yeah.
So now, the best we can build the country is by balancing up things. How do we balance up things? We have to understand the structure of the relationship between the former president and our president. The relationship was hostile, was bad, was not good. Now, Chako Bachalini Mweboba president, whereby you have your own father and his friend who is in power, who you consider that they were not good friends. So allowing such a body to come to the friend of your father, who you considered to be they were not good friends, it looks like mockery. For me, it looks like mockery.
Wait a minute, wait a minute a bit. Just there, I'm glad that you're bringing up this issue. I agree with you that the relationship between Hakainde Hichilema and Ed Galongu was not good. When Ed Galongu was in power, he didn't treat HH very well. HH is in power, things were also not okay. Now, Ed Galongu Nabafua, where do you place the issue of reconciliation? Where do you place it? Not Chikalipa, but where do you place the issue of reconciliation and unity of the country?
Okay, very good. How to do conciliation. At this point of time, we need a silent moment where we reflect. You see, where we reflect as a country. Because in the midst of all this, even if the HH Vachtabari were president, the former president, there is no reconciliation at all. And other people will be mocking. Other people will be crying. And that will bring a lot of conflict. So what's needed to do is our president and the family to the late president, they come together. You see? They iron out things. And once they iron out things, and they come as one family, and how do you do the iron out things? First of all, you look at the charges. They're still having charges. So whatever iron out things which will come, it won't work because they'll still feel pain.
Wait a minute, my brother. I'm allowing this conversation because you are bringing out different points, which others haven't brought out. So you are talking about cases to say we iron out, and some of these issues that we can look at are the cases. Now, do you remember what Makebi Zulu said? Makebi Zulu said the cases are not part of the negotiations. They are family representative, and the lawyer of the family himself put away this issue of the cases. He said, no, we are not interested in discussing the cases. What do we do?
Okay, that's why now think tanks or citizen fathers they have to come together, because Makebi Zulu maybe has his own point of view, maybe he's driving a certain intention which we are not aware about.
So if we are not aware, how can we discuss? How can we come to a conclusion when is the negotiator is the one that is standing for the family? And if he has got something that is not bringing out, how can you negotiate?
That's why now the president, when the president Ngawaima, Nangu, Vasala Bantubamo, removing Makebi Zulu. You don't need a representative for this. We are one family. You see? When all of them they sit at one seat, one chair, without even Makebi Zulu.
Yeah, but unfortunately Makebi Zulu is the one that is representing the family. So you cannot sit without Makebi Zulu, because Makebi Zulu is the one that is in front. Anyway, thank you, my brother. Let me allow other people to come in. Hello?
So you cannot sit without...
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello. This is before talking. I wanted to talk about what former speakers just from state. First and foremost, we acknowledge that the relationship between the former head of state and the current head of state was not good, but that has nothing to do with the bio of the former president. The reason is simple, is that the current president has got a role in needs to fulfill, according to Zambian tradition of how we buy presidents. It got a role of how he needs to do in order to buy the former president. And that role is to give him an honorable burial. Now, when you look at this, His Excellency, the President of Zambia, was willing to actually give the former head of state that honorable burial. Despite the differences they had, he was willing to put them aside and say, okay, this man did indeed head this country, and as such, he deserved a burial that befits him. You see, it takes a lot of strength for a man to say, okay, despite the differences we had, but you are the head of state, you are the former head of state, and I'm supposed to honor you with this kind of burial. So, in that way, the president of Zambia has actually fulfilled his obligations. But you see, where the problem is now is from the family, because the way they are behaving, when someone says, okay, despite our differences, I'm still going to do this thing to honor him, that is a certain level of humbleness. The way the family was supposed to respond in this was, okay, he has put aside whatever past they had in order to fulfill this role. Let us also fulfill our role and support this. When the burial is done, and we've given the former head of state what he deserves, an honorable burial in his country, because he is owed to us. Remember, it's the people of Zambia that voted him in power, and they deserve for the president they voted in power to be buried in the land. It's about the responsibility, not the relationship. Both, you know, the former head of state and the current head of state have a role to play, equally the family. Remember, the reason why the Lungu family is so famous is because they were put in power by the Zambian people. So there is a type of or debt that they have to the Zambian people, and the Zambian people are supposed to have a sort of solidarity.
No.
Yeah, that's the truth. So since the president of Zambia, he's willing to give the former head of state the honorable burial that he deserves. You see, and also the country equally deserves solidarity. There's supposed to be a body to it. People are supposed to say their wishes. This man did the nation at one point. He was elected in power. He campaigned and was elected in power. So there was a type of fulfillment even in death. That's why presidents, they make them record a message while they're in power for the people. Because even in death, they still have the responsibility to the nation that elected them in power.
Thank you, my brother. Thank
you.
So
now, the Lungu is holding the country in an emotional blackmail to say that if you vote for us, then we'll bring the body. That is an emotional blackmail.
Emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail. Hello?
Hello. Good evening, Mr. Tari.
Good evening.
Thank you. You're speaking to Jolwe from Lusaka, Zambia.
Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I think my contribution on this one, Mr. Terry, is that Lungu family, they are not fair to us Zambians. They need to also consider us. We gave them our vote so that their father, which they don't want to see right now, was a president for 7 years. And if I'm not mistaken, there was that incident for Malawi. When the vice president was in that crash which happened.
Yes.
There was some issues in Malawi. It was hot. But we didn't see this which is happening in Zambia.
Yeah, you are right.
They allowed giving the president of Malawi, he went to receive the body. But things were not okay. But for the sake of the country, they managed to do what to handle those issues. So I think Lungu family let them consider and allow the body of their father.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Please. Yes, please.
Mataj, this is Martin. A quick contribution, Mataj.
Yes, sir.
We sympathize with the family of our late president. And I think you realize that they are mourning. Unfortunately, I think you are Makebi Zulu with some other PF members. They've hijacked this show. Now it's about it. It's for them. Now, you realize that President Lungu, he was a president, so he understands some of these customs and how things are done. Let's give an example when some of the former presidents died in the past. And then the family says, oh, we don't want you to attend the funeral, or we don't even want you to be anywhere near this funeral. And then President Lungu goes on to invite all the presidents from Zimbabwe, South Africa, or whichever side they come to attend, and he doesn't attend. How reasonable is that kind of a request?
I like that thinking, eh? The president sends invitations.
He calls Mnangagwa.
He calls Mnangagwa. He calls Cyril Ramaphosa. He calls Lazarus Chakwera. And these presidents come. And then he himself is not there.
Yes. Ena share kumanda kushani kuda kaitaweka no state house dekara kuda kukasama kuda wali tambira pa TV when other presidents are here attending the burial, who address these presidents, who host them?
No, you have made a very good point.
This is no longer a family issue. Yeah, it's no longer a family issue. It's a battle of the power. Who's gonna flex the power? I think it's just the arrogancy of some of the few few individuals that have taken advantage of the family who are mourning, and they've hijacked this, and they're doing it for themselves. I can assure you, if we said show us the list of the wishes that the president left, how presidency things works. He can't say no, ask HH never to come. HH is the commander-in-chief. He invites all his soldiers to come and salute, and the commander-in-chief is not allowed to come there. How unreasonable is that?
Imagine all that, eh? Now, you know, you are opening my mind as well. You are opening. He's a commander-in-chief.
What they are doing.
He's a commander-in-chief, and they have to do a fly past and what. And he himself, the commander-in-chief, has been commanded not to be there.
Mr. Tayari, that's the greatest. That's the greatest insult you can do to a sitting president. That's undressing him, and I doubt even Lungu could have agreed such a thing if he was in power. Not even a single president who healed to that. It's like they're embarrassing you, trying to show that you are the weak, and we're flexing muscles here.
Yeah.
I believe me, the family can never make such a request because it's just ridiculous.
No.
If you see the request that they had, I think the government agreed to almost everything.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The only thing that is impossible to agree to is this, because it can't. It's just not impossible. And I think the UPND government, they've tried to be so much impatient. They've tried to handle these things with the highest maturity, but it's just impossible. And like I'm saying, Lungu could have never put such a thing on his list because he knows he was a president.
No.
This is just Makebi Zulu, when I given Lubinda, who are pushing this. Because once the burial is done, then that's going to be the talk of the day. The president has been embarrassed. He's a weak dude, and we are the big guys. And that's all they want. And
Thank you, my brother. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello, Batari.
Yes.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, I have a contribution.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so Zambia was declared a Christian nation by Dr. Frederick Chuluba.
Please try to speak up and move away from the other phone because I'm having an echo. Hello?
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is Zambia was declared a Christian nation by Dr. Frederick Chuluba. And then by Ed Galongu, he came to declare 18th October as a day of reconciliation. And this agenda was actually driven by the PF and Lungu together with the wife. And I remember they said it was a day to reconcile, forgive and forget. But today they cannot even forgive and forget. And the other thing is, Sumaila, she's there in South Africa, Nabali Chibanda. The people that are driving this agenda, how come they cannot advise the former First Lady to forgive and forget and reconcile? That's my contribution.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Mwanji President.
Buena Bwanji.
Tiri bueno. Ziwa Abraham titumira kumumbwa.
Oh. Ndimwe wa banja?
Sure.
Kambani wa banja timpeli. Tafuta ni chani. Tifuna tishike ife. Manje mwe wa banja mafuta bwanji.
Banja yoneka yatire mesa, yatire gizo maroza.
Ni maroza ya mwe?
Chioneka wa president wa president wa banja chabe noti zikolonza.
Aha, mwaona manje.
Chintu chepempa tifula watiuze ko former minister of religious wa Sumaili. Watiuze uti jade warapanga holiday icho sepo kalenda olopanje kozi sidio na Christianity mzambia kuno mulipe. Jade yoneka uti ilipe nchito igacho seweko chabe pa kalenda.
Icho sepo ai.
Kozi nchito si rangiza Christianity muri Zambians ya.
No, ziko.
Tifuna body ja wairete, tifike, then tiona vintu vyote nga teko kusogoro. Andi chinango, wantu waenda kumaliro, wasaivare kuti kulima election kulumezi uku. Waendise uku, palimairo wasakadanda ule ati, walati bila mavoti uku, waendise uku.
Sure, zikomo. Hello? Yeah. At teacher support, Day of National Prayers. Kairi, Bamene Wanaibueresa, Day of National Prayers, they are failing to respect, they are failing to forgive. At Day of National Prayer and Reconciliation, but they are failing to reconcile. They are failing to reconcile. Anyway, I think I should let me end here. We have had a good time, I think, and you know, we have spoken a lot. But from my point of view, I think I still want to emphasize that I think the government has tried their best. This is not for me to say, no, I'm trying to make Haka Inde Ichilema look, or Haka Inde Ichilema, you know, feel pity for me or whatever. No. The government has tried. Let me take maybe... hello?
Last caller, Mr. Tayari. How are you?
Okay, let me take indeed. Hello?
Last caller, Mr. Tayari. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Yes, Ushkapwasha calling you from Nangoma.
Okay, good.
Yes, Mr. Tayari. No, Tayari, nechigaranda kufumani chakwe wati. Chilio cha bamayo bamayo na watusevanya. Because bamayo eba kweta makiza kwe wati chiliro chishikwe bomutende ube mu mucharo cha Zambia. Nomba cha awati babere bamayo bareba bomupya kuri abera Makebi Zulu abena give lubinda ama useless product baria. Wamona. Eto barefu abena kukwata political mileage yako bati bakasala ndakuma mazima Zambia 2026 ati batu wawina tukasende tukachilete mchana no wakawina kuisa because Zambian people voted them out. Nomba pero walawina shua oro twali pwamano bakatempo kutuma na bieve wakotana Makebi Zulu ya watu mwa cheche na papa president wakamwipate nomba
dara
nomba so number 2026 to protect uvotera church so that we can empire. Kaina for president kwisa wena Makebi Zulu kwisa mukona we. Kora tona na president wesu. So it's better 2026 amazamya libose tukeme mpindi nokuta protect our president kuwa voter in large number so toka pole ne chari munomba.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we are ending on a very political note. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. But anyway, I think thank you very much for joining. A lot has been said. I'm sure we have gotten one or two points. I won't go through them because really, I'm also tired. Thank you. Good night.
Let me know what you think about this video. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to JQ News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates on tech, politics, and everything in between. Until next time, stay cool.